Hello everyone. Now we are going to start with the next act, that is your Act 3 of your business law, that is your Consumer Protection Act of 1986. Now coming to the part of your Consumer Protection Act, there was never before the realization, as we can already understand, the Act of 1986, that means to say long back after your 40 years, approximately 40 years after your independence. Not till then we had never realized the importance of a consumer or the consumer protection. And that is where the realization part for the protection of the consumer is made very much important, not just in India, even in the other developed countries. By the time already in the developed countries, the individual acts were being framed, but in India still the lacking part was being there when it comes to the enforceability or the importance being given to the consumers. So that is where we realized together, no doubt the protection was being somewhere being given as per your contract act or as per your sales of goods act or as per your general laws, but there was no specific individual law. And that is where we realized there is a very much important need for the separate laws to be enforced for the consumer protection, and we came up with this particular law of Consumer Protection Act of 1986. Now there were the few of the specific reasons why we had enacted this act, one of which was your doctrine of caveat emptor. Let me explain you the term caveat emptor. That means to say, let the buyer be aware. Let the buyer be aware. Now this concept was been there originally in your Sales of Goods Act, which said a seller is never going to be liable for each and everything what the buyer is purchasing. We as a seller, we are not going to be responsible. We are not going to give you the information about the product and everything. Somewhere the buyer also needs to be vigilant by himself. That's what the term says, caveat emptor, buyer be aware. So over here, the consumer never realized the importance of that, and they were always being cheated, or the fraudulent or malpractice were being taken right. So that is where the first reason was for the protection from the doctrine. Doctrine means to say rule of the doctrine of your caveat emptor. So over here somewhere more of emphasis towards the consumer was being given. So no doubt a consumer will be aware, but still somewhere he needs to be protected from the malpractices. Second, the reason was that your collective bargaining. See, individual as a consumer, I am a consumer, let's suppose I am purchasing a biscuit, hardly a biscuit of rupees 25, maximum of 50 or 100 rupees. But a company which is running the business at a huge level of crores of rupees, is he going to consider the complaint of a buyer who is just a purchaser of 100 rupees amount? No, absolutely not. So that is where, as a consumer, if we collectively come together and fight for the rights of the consumer, we will be able to give the justification, or we will be able to get justice for the same. So second reason for framing of your consumer protection was giving a collective bargaining. The third was your multiple laws. Multiple laws means to say there were so many laws. As a consumer, I was never been given the importance, and I was never been knowing where exactly as a consumer I need to go and approach and file the complaint against the companies or the corporation or the organization. So over here, to give the exact perfect definition, to give the exact area through which the consumer can file a complaint or a case, they have been given a proper right platform where we have removed the multiplicity of the laws and we have framed one particular law, that is your Consumer Protection Act of 1986. And the fourth reason was hurdles in the litigation. Where we were having multiple laws, so at the same time, considering the filing a case for 100 rupee case or 100 rupee goods is not was being given the importance, and the litigations or the laws were not being given the importance to that level. And that is why we felt so we are required to give the importance, be it how much amount of money is being there. And the fourthly, remedy. See, every problem should have a proper solution and a remedy towards it. See, just letting get a, let the consumer be affected, let the consumer be aware by himself, let the consumer take his own decision. But what as a government, what as an authority, what as an individuality, and together they are going to come up to the whole nation. How are they going to get protected? So for that reason, a remedy is being provided through this particular platform of your Consumer Protection Act of 1986, which gives a proper, simplicity towards the law, proper litigation, how it can be proceeded, how the hurdles can be removed towards the litigation, and if I am not having that much of money or a power, how and who will be there as authority who is going to protect me from the same. Exactly. So this was the basic reason for framing of your Consumer Protection Act of 1986. Okay. So now further, once we have known the reason for framing of the act, now we will understand towards when we were making the laws. That was your act when we were making. So now further we discussed about the objective. What is going to be my objective? So in all, there were total 8 objectives which were being stated while framing the act. First was right to be protected against the marketing of the goods. What kind of goods are being marketed what kind of products are being marketed in the for the consumers in the open market. Are they being given adulterated goods? Are we being provided the quality, quantity, and properly the advertisements are being done? So that is the check which is going to be taken place when I am as a consumer, when I am going to consume a particular goods. Second, when I am going to talk about, I should have a proper right to information. I should have proper information. What quality, what quantity, what are the properties, what are the ingredients when I am purchasing. So that is the reason now when we are purchasing a good, you will see all the information, all the bits and part information, right from the manufacturing date to expiry date to your ingredients, everything is being mentioned. Customer care number, your support number, all these things are being being stated in your product. Why? Because that is being stated. The second objective, my right to information. My third objective, right to be assured. Whichever way possible, I should get the access toward the variety of goods. I should be given assurity. What I am consuming is having authenticity, is having a reliability, is having a future benefit towards me. So that is the assurance. The third objective was right to assured. Right to be heard. That is your fourth objective towards the making of your Consumer Protection Act. I should be heard by the being a consumer, even for a 1 rupee or 1,000 or 1 crore rupees. There should be consumer benefit which will be given. There should be some kind of appropriate authority. Forum should be there. Consideration towards my problems should be there, and my problems should be heard in a very much proper manner. Justice should be given to me. Next is right to be redressal, right to seek redressal against unfair trade practices, adulterated practices, exploitation of the consumers, so that the consumers are not feeling vulnerable. They are not being affected by the huge marketers, be it within the country or be it outside the country. So that shouldn't be the case. Jahan pe we are feeling restless and we are being at the cost of the huge companies which are running. So I should be very much having a redressal agencies who are going to protect me from such kind of malpractices which are happening all around. Next is when I'm talking about the right to consumer education. Every consumer is having the right to education. Right to education regarding which product he is using, what product is using, how is he going to use it, what are the side effects. Every information needs to be given. Education, see, be it I am ready to accept that information or not, that is not an important thing for the sellers. But as a buyer, as a consumer, I need to be given education for the same. Right to be protected from the any kind of practices which are offering the goods in a competitive kind of a thing, jahan pe competitors are fighting with each other for the unfair trade practices and they are giving the deficiency or the deficit in the your goods and services. I should be protected from all the such kind of activities which can be any activities where the laws are, where the authorities are feeling where these particular people should not be utilizing their unconditional powers. Their authorities should not be considering their ways out where they can affect the functioning of these particular objectives. And last but not the least, protection from the spurious goods or offering from the goods of where the adulterated activity, deceptive practices, or your provisions of the services are being in such a nature where they are going to affect the public policies. So where I have to be very much vigilant, I have to be very much restricted when it comes to the protection of the consumers. So this is where the object or the reasons behind the framing of your consumer protection was first to be right to be protected against the marketing. Third was your second was your relating to your consumer right to assured, right to be heard, right to be educated, right to be seek redressal, right to be any kind of your malpractices when being done with your advertisements, right to be protected against the unfair trade practices, and right to be protected from the spurious goods or offerings which are being generally being presented or given by the authorities or by the organizations or any other boards. Thank you. We'll stop it over here for the part 1.